I've been self-isolating and practicing social distancing in New York City for the last month, and this experience has taught me a lot. Today, I'm going to be sharing the 10 things I've learned after 1 month of self-isolation. Tell me down below in the comments what you've learned. I'm curious. Here we go. I took things for granted. We all did. And it takes a crisis of this proportion for us to realize how good we actually had it. And I miss a lot of the little things, like going outside and not wearing a mask for fear of catching this virus, or taking the subway anywhere I wanted to go, whenever I wanted, no questions asked, or going to the supermarket and pharmacy and not trying to avoid other people like they're space invaders, even going out with friends to a bar. Granted, Zoom happy hours are really fun. But what choice do we really have in the matter right now? We're all going through the same situation. And there was a quote that I read recently that really hit home by Albert Einstein. Adversity introduces a man to himself. Let that sink in a little bit. I put the wrong people on pedestals. Yesterday, I was waiting in line for over an hour to get inside Trader Joe's. This is something we're just gonna have to get used to as they're limiting capacity inside. And when you get to the front, I noticed there were 2 lines. One for everybody else, and one for senior citizens. And then I saw a young woman go to the front of the line talking to one of the employees, and he said, "Thank you for your service." And I realized that she was either a nurse or a doctor. They're letting medical personnel go to the front of the line as well at Trader Joe's. And it hit me. As a society, we don't normally thank doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers like we would be thanking members of the military. And then I realized, why not? New York City, the epicenter of the coronavirus around the world, has these healthcare professionals, first responders in the front lines dealing with death daily, and they were prepared with equipment and still doing an outstanding job. And I think that they deserve a lot more praise. And I know that I have some nurses, doctors, first responders watching this channel. So if there's ever anything I can do for you, please do send me an email, and thank you for your service. This lesson has been pretty profound because ever since I was in college, I was obsessed with the notion that you had to go to a gym, you had to lift heavy weights in order to get a good workout in. Yet because of this crisis, my gym's closed and I had to improvise. So I started working out at home in this tiny little kitchen with just a yoga mat and a few light weights. And I was wrong, way wrong. I have gotten in some incredible workouts in 20 minutes or less doing high intensity interval training off of YouTube. And honestly, I think I'm actually leaner 1 month later just doing these workouts and obviously maintaining a fairly healthy diet. I have learned that you don't need a gym in order to get a good workout in. And who knows, after this, I may never even go back to a gym. And if you're curious what channel I've been working out off of, I'm gonna put a card to it above, right there. You can check it out. This past week, a strange thing happened. I was sitting at my desk on my computer where I am most of the day, and outside, out of the silence, I heard a bird chirping. And I found this unusual because I've lived in this apartment almost 10 years and I don't think I've ever heard a bird chirping before. And then it hit me. Were there birds chirping all along and it was just drowned out by street noise and traffic? Or are the birds chirping more just because there's less people? Either way, it was something that I actually paid attention to and enjoyed. And living in a small apartment surrounded by other buildings, nature is something that I have definitely always taken for granted. Even going for a walk to the supermarket, staring up at trees that are blossoming, it's something that I'm paying more attention to now than I did in the past. And this is all because we're cooped up inside most of the day, and I don't even have a backyard to go hang out in. And I realize that I've been neglecting nature for far too long, and it takes a situation like this for me to actually realize it. I'm more disciplined than I thought I was, and nothing will get your discipline going than the thought of catching this virus. I mean, we can start with my routine when I come back from going outside: disinfecting, spraying clothes, using hand sanitizer, washing my hands, everything like that. But then I'm also trying to do things religiously to boost my immune system, like taking vitamins, drinking apple cider vinegar daily, adding cold showers to the end of my normal warm shower, which, believe me, took a lot of adjusting. And it took a circumstance like this for me to realize I can be very disciplined if I need to be. One of the things that gave me the greatest anxiety about staying in New York City was other people. A lot of other people. Now, I was here in 2012 for Sandy, and I thought that New Yorkers really came together when they needed to. When the city lost power, if you just walked by a stranger and said, "Hey, can I use your cell phone? I can't reach my family," nobody said no. But this crisis was something different. It was something even larger, and I wasn't sure what to expect. Well, I've been pleasantly surprised. For the most part, I have seen most New Yorkers doing their best, trying to follow the rules, doing their best to social distance. I don't see people complaining at supermarkets. I don't see people being overly rude. Most are trying to avoid the subway unless they absolutely have to, trying to be courteous when they're walking, keeping their distance inside pharmacies. It's impressive. We're all in this together, and I'm very proud to be a New Yorker right now. I've learned that I am more than just a New York City vlogger or a travel vlogger. I'm just myself. And this coronavirus crisis has forced me to change up the style of my videos. Do I miss going out, making neighborhood guides, trying amazing ethnic food all over New York City? Absolutely. Every single day. But that being said, it's also been fun to discover other ways to connect with the audience, like doing updates about New York City, or having Adriana show you a recipe from Mexico, and then having, no joke, at least a dozen of you send me pictures of yourselves making this recipe and thanking her for teaching them something that her grandma showed her. You don't have to have 150,000 subscribers to make a difference in people's lives. Share an inspiring message on Facebook. During this time of lockdown and quarantine, maybe you can discover something new about yourself or a talent that you never realized you had. Time waits for no one. I thought 1 month on lockdown would feel like 1 year, but it's been the opposite. The last month absolutely flew by. Maybe it's because I'm sleeping more, maybe because I'm trying to keep busy with things. I don't know what it is, but I'm curious if you felt the same way as me. Has the last month gone by really quick? And maybe time always was going by fast for me, and it just took this moment in history to remind me of that. I am blessed, and I'm not talking about religion here. I'm just talking about my life in general. I'm blessed that I'm healthy, my family's healthy, that all of my friends, as of now, are healthy. I'm also blessed to have amazing subscribers, like many of you watching this, some of which reached out to me over social media offering me things like masks if I needed it, and that was absolutely amazing. I'm grateful for my patrons on Patreon for supporting this channel right now, even during these difficult times. And I think while it's so easy to be pessimistic at the moment, I think that we all need to be thankful as well that a lot of our lives and our major necessities can still be handled without having to leave the house. Being patient is important. The coronavirus is going to take as long as it takes to play out. I control what I can control, and that's it. There's a lot of things that I try to accomplish every single day, but there's other days where I just do nothing, or at least I try to do nothing. And there's a great quote that says, "Sometimes relaxing is the most productive thing you can do." Don't try to overexert yourself during these difficult times. That's my own personal advice, but being impatient is not a good thing for this time. It's just gonna give you more anxiety. And believe me, I'm battling this all the time, but I'm learning the importance of patience, especially right now. I'm really curious what you all think. Have you learned anything new about yourself in the last month? Don't be afraid to update me on your situation down below in the comments. I read them all. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, your support means a lot. Until next time.